Why are Buddhist mantras important in Mahayana and Vajrayana practice, especially in modern busy times? What are the 9 benefits of Buddhist mantra as taught by Buddha and lineage teachers? Is simply listening to mantra beneficial? How do mantras actually work? What is transmission from sutra or lineage and empowerment? Why and how do we accumulate mantras in our lifetime?
We answer these questions with insight from Buddhist teachers in this in-depth how-to feature on the benefits and practice of reciting or meditating with Buddhist mantras. In Buddhism, a mantra represents the essence of the enlightened speech of the Buddha. The teachings say that the mantra is not separate from the deity.
As Mahayana Buddhists, we aspire to achieve the enlightened body, speech and mind for the benefit of all sentient beings. Until we attain enlightenment, our symbolic supports are usually a statue or visualization of the Buddha's body in the form of the yidam we aspire to. The bell for mind and our mala to represent the speech and mantras. Dharma and speech are the most important elements of Buddhist practice.
How important is Dharma speech? Lama Zopa told the story from Sutra of Buddha speaking Dharma to the swans.
There is a story when Buddha gave teachings to 500 swans in the field, and the next life they were born as human beings, became monks, and they all became Arya beings, able to achieve the cessation of suffering and the true path. So the result is unbelievable just by hearing Dharma words.
This highlights the importance of mantras and sutra recitation, not only for ourselves, but for others. It is for this reason, for example, that Lama Zopa recommended chanting Medicine Buddha's mantra for your animal companions, or even outside for the insects. He also recommended the practice for people who are ill. Just hearing compassionate mantras are beneficial for everyone.
For example, in the Sutra for the origination of Hayagriva, a form of Avalokiteshvara, the mantra is introduced with the memorable lines, "Whoever, including even the insects, has heard the name and mantra of Hayagriva only one time will never again fall into the lower paths." The most commonly cited benefits of mantra include mindfulness of sound, focused meditation, serenity and healing through the activity of mind. Well-known teacher Pema Chodron wrote in the book titled The Wisdom of No Escape and the Path of Loving Kindness.
When you say your mantra, as with all practices, you have to bring your full attention. You become the words. It's like eating. You don't just swallow without chewing. You chew and savor every word of your mantra.
From a scientific perspective, mantra recitation and the associated sound vibration have been shown to change the waveforms emitted by the brain, leading to increased concentration and mental clarity. This is the summary of findings from a study published on Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences.
Mantra literally translates from Sanskrit as mind protection or guarding the mind. What does this mean? Lama Zopa Rinpoche explained during Nyingma purification teachings at Lawudo.
It means guarding the mind from attachment, the view of this life and the 3 lower realms. It means guarding the mind from the whole suffering realm of samsara, which means all 6 realms, and from seeking and being bound to the blissful state of peace for self. It guards the mind, or in other words, it guards oneself. It means the same thing. It is related to guarding the mind, but it means guarding you from all these problems and from binding yourself to the blissful state of peace. It also guards your mind from the impression of the subtle dualistic view.
Mantra is also an essence practice. When you chant Om at the beginning of most mantras, this is taking refuge in and invoking the enlightened body, speech, and mind of the Buddha, in whatever form you visualize as your yidam, or meditational deity.
This is why when teachers hear their students say, "I have no time to practice," they often reply, "You have time to say a mantra, don't you?"
There are only 3 requirements of practicing the mantras of most enlightened Buddhas generally. First is to take refuge. You take refuge the moment you commence your mantra of Om. But we should also try to be mindful of our refuge in the 3 jewels: Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
The second is to chant the mantra mindfully, ideally visualizing the enlightened Buddha. If you are audibly chanting only, for example, while walking or driving, of course you do not visualize.
The final requirement is bodhicitta. This is what makes it a Mahayana Buddhist practice, the intention to become enlightened for all sentient beings. This is symbolically represented by the syllables svaha, which means well said, but in the Mahayana context means, I dedicate the merit of this mantra to the cause for enlightenment, for the benefit of all sentient beings. When svaha is not part of the mantra, it is still a mental requirement.
These together make the mantra a complete practice. With every recitation is refuge in the 3 jewels: bodhicitta, intention, and dedication. The rest of the mantra represents the body, speech, and mind of your yidam, the enlightened Buddha. Some mantras also include explicitly stated intentions. For example, Mother Tara's mantra is Om Tare Tutare Ture Svaha. This includes refuge in Tara, the Om. The next 3 collection of syllables represent the 3 intentions. The first, Tare, liberates us from samsara, sufferings and obstacles. The second, Tutare, saves us from the 8 dangers and fears. The third, Ture, liberates us from disease. Finally, Svaha is our bodhicitta intention that it benefit all beings. Svaha is also likened to the seed that we plant in our hearts.
This means the mantra itself is a complete and essential practice, especially for busy people. This is why mantra is the most effective practice for modern people leading busy, stressful lives. It's a focus for the mind and plants the seed of bodhicitta in our hearts. For example, as soon as we say the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, we are invoking the body, speech, and mind of the compassionate lotus Avalokiteshvara Guanyin Chenrezig. The great teacher Garchen Rinpoche, in his superb book Vajrakilaya, a complete guide with experiential instructions, explained the 9 benefits of Buddhist mantra of enlightened deities, especially when combined with the visualizations.
Mantra can be understood as the deity. Every mantra we recite emanates one deity. These deities then work for the benefit of beings. Mantra can be understood as offerings to the Buddha. Mantra can be understood as purification of obstacles. Mantra can be understood as siddhis, in the form of blessings. Mantra brings about loving kindness and compassion in the practitioner. Mantra, when one has fully trained in the creation stage, invokes the entire mandala. One no longer needs an entire sadhana text. Mantra brings about all of the 4 activities: peaceful, increasing, powerful, and wrathful. Mantra is a wish-fulfilling jewel. These are the 9 understandings of mantra. Accumulations of mantras are common yidam practices, especially in what is often called the mantra counting retreat. We are asked, for example, to accomplish 100,000 mantras using our malas to count.
The concept of accumulation is to focus the mind on the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha, or our chosen meditational form of the Buddha, known as the Yidam. During informal retreats, these are accumulated over time, not all in one session necessarily, which would be impossible for most modern lay people.
As long as we chant some every day, after having taken refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and as long as we dedicate our mantra practice at the end of each session, then this is considered accumulative. 30 today, 100 tomorrow, 20 the day after, 50 the day after, and 800 on the weekend. As long as we've dedicated the merit to the benefit of all sentient beings, this is an accumulation of 1,000. We continue daily until we reach 100,000.
What happens then? We keep going, but if we're doing a formal retreat, our teacher will advise us to seal or dedicate the accumulated merit and purify any mistakes we've made with either a fire puja or with another purification practice such as Vajrasattva.
Once we accomplish this, the merit is fully accumulated. This bonds us forever to the enlightened body, speech and mind of the Buddha in the form of Yidam we practice. This might be Tara, or Vajrasattva, or Vajrakilaya, or Hayagriva, or Medicine Buddha, whichever mantra we've practiced.
A lot of mythology has arisen around the concepts of permissions and mantras. With the proviso that we should be guided by our own teachers on this, the main requirement for mantra chanting of any enlightened deity according to the teachings is bodhicitta intention. This, in concise terms, is the intention to become enlightened for the benefit of all sentient beings. Garshan Rinpoche wrote about this on the requirements for any of his teachings, empowerments, or mantras.
There are no restrictions. Why? For the Buddha, there was no difference between nationality or religions because all sentient beings are really Buddhas. They are only obscured by temporary stains. All sentient beings possess the cause of awakening, and if they want to become a Buddha, they can. For this reason, whatever is online or on live stream is not restricted. Anybody can take whatever they want and look at whatever they want, and for however long they want. I encourage you to do this. This is the Buddha's instruction.
Not every teacher takes this view, but this applies certainly to any teachings online from Garshan Rinpoche. For other teachers, always be guided by their instructions. Generally, though, enlightened Buddhas are accessible to everyone.
What about transmission and empowerment? Of course, we should always take empowerment and transmission from our teachers when we have the opportunity for instruction. Transmission ensures we practice correctly, and empowerment always comes with instruction, a lineage history, and other important elements of practice. In the meanwhile, though, for any enlightened Buddha, practicing mantras can plant the karmic seeds for future empowerment.
Meanwhile, practicing your mantras daily ensures you have time to take refuge in the Buddhas, practice your Yidam, and dedicate the merit to the benefit of all sentient beings, even if you are too busy for formal practice.
It also allows you to practice compassion by reciting compassionate mantras for others who might be suffering, or for world peace, or for healing. This is why, in temples or online, you often see mantra accumulations of, for example, Om Mani Padme Hum, where the visitors chant mantras, record the number and the total accumulation of everyone. The total of all recitations, even those from online participants, is then dedicated for a noble purpose such as peace. We dedicate the merit of this video to the cause for enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Please consider supporting our Dharma mission, our mantra music project, and our videos by becoming a supporting patron on Patreon at patreon.com/BuddhaWeekly or as a supporting member at buddhaweekly.com/support.